Well, it is time to begin. Divine Creator, we ask that the light of highest awareness fill the minds and hearts of those who are open to your light. We ask that they be assisted and strengthened in their resolve to achieve peace using peaceful means. May their minds, their hearts, and their actions reflect the divine will to good for all. Comfort, strengthen, and support those who are in a difficult situation in their mind, body, or spirit. Bring confidence to them that your divine hand is at work in their life. Amen. Greetings and welcome. My name is Reverend Mary Huber. I'm pastor of the Community Chapel of Holistic Healing. This is a nonprofit spiritual fellowship, non-denominational, begun in 1977 by Reverend Michelle Lusan, a mystic and channel for the multidimensional consciousness which we carry here in the organization. We are here to aid in personal and global spiritual transformation. We have chapel services twice a month. We have prayers for peace every Thursday night. We have a place where you can put prayer lists, where you can put people's names on it if you so choose to do that. And we do send indirect healing or distance healing to people since we're not meeting yet in the physical room. At this time, if you haven't done so, we ask you to mute your microphones. And before we start, we always begin every chapel service and most of our meetings with the recitation of the 3 healers, which are also known as the Faith, Hope, and Charity affirmations. So if you would like to say those with me now, they are there on the screen. I believe in the spiritual existence of myself as a perfect image of the divine creator. In this reflection that is my physical embodiment, I have faith in the supreme guidance of my soul for my balance, my needs, and my opportunities. Outside of myself, there are also perfect images, and nothing can delude my thinking otherwise. Hope affirmation. Acknowledging my faith in the omnipresence of my divinity, I hope for realization, awareness, and acknowledgement of the existence of the great I am within myself. Charity affirmation. In understanding faith, in knowing hope, I pledge my actions, my desires, and my thoughts to the performances of myself on the physical planes of the earth to honor, to love, and to enlighten all that is the reflection of the divine outside myself, so that my perfection is imaged back to my Creator. So help me God. Well, this evening's topic is about head, heart, and hands. Now, the references to head, heart, and hands is embedded in many spiritual philosophies, and certainly that's a phrase, and that is a teaching that was held here through Michelle Lusan throughout her time before she retired. The reference to head, of course, refers to the ability to think. Heart always refers to our ability to love. And hands refers to our ability to grasp, to manipulate the physical world, and to be able to perform in the world. It has been known not only spiritually, but also in psychology for human beings to have a balance between their thinking and feeling. People who spend too much time in their mental world are often at a disadvantage when someone asks, "Well, how do you feel about that?" Very often, those who are overthinkers will not be able to answer or will have to search their mind for what they think the appropriate feeling should be. This disconnection between mind and feeling puts the individual at a distinct disadvantage, even if they're not aware of that. Here, the action of these people would be more mechanical and based on preconceived ideas or training or such, which may or may not be appropriate, and in some cases, not even true. But we have to go to the heart. The heart is what gives us our answers. The world does not operate only on man-made formulas. Each individual is a soul with great capacity for creation and being creative. When the fluidity of the world and its myriad possibilities are not at the disposal of an individual, that person becomes out of alignment with their own higher design and purpose. Your balance, your spiritual achievements based on your ability to feel through the heart center the truth behind all appearances. Every single human coming into the earth plane for its lifetime does have a pole star or a guiding principle. That guiding principle is the intelligence of your soul. Those higher planes of existence from which we come embeds in each human the capacity to remember those origins, but that capability has to be activated during the lifetime. That inner sense of knowing and understanding truth, which comes from the heart, is where the capacity is placed. There are many lessons to be learned through the heart, or obviously through the many experiences of love in its many forms. And the focus of each lifetime is to learn these lessons and apply them in a better fashion in everyday life once we learn them. I'm going to present here some material from Joel Goldsmith, a mystic and channel who lived earlier in the earlier part of the last century. He says, "The world is not in need of a new religion, nor a world in need of a new philosophy. What the world needs is healing and regeneration. The world needs people who, through devotion to God, are so filled with spirit that they can be instruments through which healing takes place. When we think of ourselves, let us forget our so-called humanhood and human qualities and try to understand what we represent as consciousness. And then realize that that consciousness, which is expressing itself as us, is likewise maintaining and prospering us and our endeavors." Sometimes we forget that God consciousness is forever expressing itself, its qualities, its consciousness, and its life, which can never fail. Our task is to learn to relax and allow our soul to express itself. The expression "to take no thought" is to refrain from conscious thinking, or that overly done conscious thinking, and let the divine ideas fill our consciousness. Since we are individual spiritual consciousness, we can trust the greater consciousness to infill us and our mission. And this way, we get out of our own way, which very often is the case in many people's lives. They just get in their own way. It would be very well for us to become the beholder of life and its harmonies. Each morning, we could waken to watch the new day unfolding with eagerness and to have it reveal new joys and victories. Each night, we could realize that our rest does not bring to a close God's activity in our life, but that divine love is the protecting influence and substance of our rest, that divine consciousness is importing its ideas to us even in sleep, and that divine principle is the guiding law throughout the night. When we think this way, nothing from without can enter consciousness to defile us, and this truth stands guard at our mental portals to admit only reality and its harmlessness. The spiritual realm is a source of health, which truly is the eternal harmony of being. It is a consciousness of supply without limits, and it's gained without taking thought. Here we are coming into the awareness of spiritual health and supply. As we press on in our spiritual development, we are now finding less of self and making room for the revelation and unfoldment of our divine self. In this self, greater self, we discover our completedness and the infinity of our being. Here we also discover the reason for our existence. At this point, one would have found his inner self to be one with all men, all animals, and all things. He or she now knows that what affects one affects everyone. The universality of this truth is found in all scriptures and in many traditions. As we realize our unity, our oneness with all creation, we become more loving, gentle, patient, and understanding. It is only then that we can fulfill the great teaching of love thy neighbor as thyself. Only then are we glimpsing the kingdom of God. It is this spiritual man, a man of God's creation, who has been given dominion over all the earth. Spiritual consciousness lifts us above every human form of limitation and permits us to enter a larger sense of life, of health, and freedom. When there is spiritual consciousness, there is no bondage to person, place, or thing. And there is no, or are no, limitations to our accomplishment. Meditation is the door to the realm of the soul, and inspiration is the way. As we learn to take a few minutes each day to sit quietly with a listening ear, to turn within selves and learn to wait for the still small voice. This is when life begins to have a new meaning. Mr. Goldsmith's words are evergreen, to be sure. And I think that it's a great reminder that God is pure love. that you and I were created in love by the master of all creation, our God self, the great I am presence. Make sure we are well equipped for this lifetime's journey. Now, some journeys are harder than others to accomplish, but nevertheless, there is a grand design from our Creator which gives us the right talent and strength to offset the embedded weaknesses which are what we are to overcome. And in our final report before our master, we can then say, mission complete. But what if some feelings are just old recycled beliefs which an individual continually activates? Those are actually emotions, not feelings, and are most likely have had their origins in some trauma or mistaken facts given to them. Take, for instance, somebody who had activated a fear around a particular situation, and then for possibly the rest of their life, or certainly for a long period of time, will assign to that kind of situation and to those who were in the original situation something that is undesirable and unacceptable. Now, this can happen at any time in life, but it's particularly damaging in childhood. All future actions with the people or these situations which remain embedded in them from the original will then create continually the erroneous feelings. Of course, these are these lessons of a lifetime to learn. And when one makes effort, this is when we become aware of our own self and what we need to do in order to bring balance back into ourselves. To help in understanding balance, I went to some of the writings of masters. Now, I have this image when Michelle taught this to us many years ago. You have to have the balance. You have to have the balance in your mind and in your heart. And when those are balanced, when you take the balanced mind, direct that information to the heart and say, how does this feel? Then the heart that is there purely under the direction of God will always give you the right information, will tell you the truth. Is this true or is it not? Is something good for me or not? So you can figure with a pure heart, with a heart dedicated to God, that's always going to be the consulting force. The heart, she said, then sends that information back to the mind, where the original thinking then is modified to create then the action, which is the hands, the symbology of the hands, where then you take that as your action in life. So that would give you the perfect balance of head, heart, and hands. Now, mindfulness meditation helps an individual to stand aside from these errors and experience what is going on, what is at hand in a very fresh way, unique way that you haven't seen this before. What's my impression? But this comes with patience and practice, much practice. Our daily prayers, affirmations, and meditations are so important today. These are the tried and true ways to address this overall balance. The trifold action of head and heart, which results in the action in the hands, is just one of those spiritual understandings for a person to consider who is seeking balance of body, mind, and spirit. The Ascended Masters always speak of the threefold flame of life. This is the life that beats in your heart as a triad of motion consisting of tripartite energies. This is the Holy Trinity of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. This is threefold flame of love, wisdom, and power, exhibiting colors, if you can see them or if they are visible to the psychic mind. The colors are pink, gold, and blue in appearance. This is the flame, the spark of life from your Creator, which exists in the heart of every single human being. This is where the thread that goes through us, through that golden thread or the silver cord, whatever, however you're used to experiencing it, that goes from the heart all the way up to our I am presence, to the God presence itself. It goes all the way up our spiritual stem. And we are here to learn the lessons that these flames have embedded within them. And we have to learn to increase their intensity of love, of wisdom, and appropriate use of our own power. The masters tell us that emotions controlled by love in balance with wisdom create a sharp edge of power which life cannot resist. So progress stems then from attunement with all of the triune aspects of God in perfect balance. And these were the words of Master Serapis Bey. And he continues to talk about another aspect of this. We are here to summon the energy from the heart of God that teach by communion and friendship with the Divine One on how to govern the threefold and fourfold aspects of being until the seven bodies of each manifest the sevenfold plan of perfection according to the law of the square and the triangle. Those symbols, those visual things, symbols that we get, they are the geometric symbols, have meaning and purpose in our life that we are not always consciously aware of. But he said, then the cosmic cycles of life remains unbroken, and the triangle within the circle becomes the symbol of a personal victory. The circle can be placed within the square, and then can be seen as this all can be seen as a schoolroom of the spirit and a place of consecration where the omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresence of God becomes a reliable force for the ascending soul. The all-powerful, all-knowing, and eternal present God of God within us. Your consciousness, he says, is a priceless tapestry. Each day you weave upon it a motif of spirit. Now, I will share with you my understanding of these geometric forms that have been used, at least a few of them. The triangle is the basic energy form used for all of creation. This is true here when we speak of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, the head, heart, hand, love, wisdom, power. This is the creation principle. It's always the number 3. The 3 will be the basic unit of creativity and creation. The square is the solid foundation of being. When somebody or something is 4 square, it is the measure by which we square all actions with our virtues. It comes from a long time back from the Masons when they were looking to have all these perfect right angles. And the circle, I believe, is a symbol for consciousness. All of this means that under this alignment, we are entirely attuned to the will of God and accessing our Christ consciousness. This spiritually advanced state is the plan of the perfected human. We are all working toward that in some way, shape, or form or another in our lifetime. And recently, and certainly in this change of the ages and moving the whole world forward in consciousness, this has been very, very much and more evident in our lives. So as we work on this entire picture, we become more and more willing to see God in all things. We can then go about with absolute faith in the divine within us and placed our trust there, and not in outward circumstances or appearances. We do get to experience life, what we affirm and what we believe. That's how our life is experienced. Our total immersion in a higher and finer world and our expectation of that happening will hasten the new world picture of peace, harmony, and happiness. So as we put forth our daily spiritual practice and assign higher value to our personal life and the life of those around us, you will find, first of all, that number one, you are not a victim. Secondly, that you can and should expect success. And finally, that you never have to envy the talents of another. You find that your life lived according to your higher standards is exactly the achievement expected of you, so that you can anticipate the spiritual congratulations you will receive when you finally return home. Thank you. At this time, we will move on to our meditation.
All right, everyone. This is our Changing Woman meditation based on the Navajo myth. And we will begin by taking deep breaths in and out. Deep breaths in and out. As we find ourselves relaxing, body, mind, and spirit. As we sit quietly, breathing deeply, we feel a shower of gold coming on us, washing away any negativity. Any heavy or unwanted energies are just being washed off of us, washed off of our bodies, our minds, and our spirits by the golden light. And we may see specks or shadows or rivulets of dark coming off of us and sinking into the ground, where they will be neutralized and transformed by Mother Earth. We take a moment to let this shower of gold come down on us and wash away any heavy or unwanted energies to Mother Earth. Now the shower of light coming down on us changes from gold to silver in color, and we see a great shower of silver light coming down from the heavens, bringing with it the light, loving, powerful energy of spirit just showering down on us. We open ourselves to this beautiful light. We let it come in through our heads and run down our entire bodies, through all of our fields, clearing us and connecting us to the beautiful light of spirit. We take a moment to soak in this beautiful silvery light. Once we feel inundated with this light, we then see it change once more into a brilliant white light that encircles us all around. This protective white light seals our fields, keeping us safe, protected, and held within the light. Now, in this grounded, connected, protected state, we can move peacefully to our place of meditation, our place of calm, our place of spirit. We take a moment to feel, to know that we are there in whatever setting is most beneficial to us now. We sit quietly in our place of calm. It can be any setting, indoors, outdoors, so long as we feel peaceful and ready to begin our meditative journey. From this safe place of peace and calm, we begin our journey. Taking inspiration from the Navajo myth of changing woman. So first, we may picture either ourselves or another as a child. You may want to see yourself reverting back to your childhood self and see a reflection in a great mirror before you. If this doesn't seem to be readily coming to mind, you may instead simply picture a child standing before you. Let you take a moment to really picture the child's face, their hair and features, to see the smallness of their body and limbs. Perhaps you take note of what the child is wearing or what the child is doing. Or how old the child appears to be. Take a moment to connect with this child image. It may well bring you feelings too. Feelings of joy, of playfulness, of innocence, of happiness, of laughter. Or perhaps you see a different aspect of childhood, napping or crying or tantrums. But take a moment to think about childhood and what you associate with it. Once you have a firm image of the child, then try to think of positive traits associated with children. You may simply think of words, or perhaps you see images or symbols of innocence, of lightness, of playfulness. And as you see or become aware of these positive traits in the child before you, you then see these traits coming back into your own self. You find yourself accepting and absorbing these carefree, childlike traits. Giving thanks to the energies of childhood and to your childlike self. You see time move forward rapidly so that you picture yourself as an adult. You may either see yourself in a mirror or see a double of yourself standing in front of you. You take a minute to go over this image of adulthood. Taking note of the face and hair, the body and limbs. You may find yourself taking note of what the adult is doing, the adult image before you, or perhaps what they are saying or feeling. Once you find yourself with a clear image of an adult person before you, begin to take note of positive qualities that you associate with adulthood. Perhaps you become aware of strength or stamina, of the ability to work hard and carry on and be responsible. Perhaps other qualities come to your mind. But take a moment to really think of positive qualities of adulthood. Once you have a clear idea of some positive adult traits, see them coming into yourself, into your field, into your mind and body. These positive adult traits, like strength, like stamina, like responsibility and independence. See them coming effortlessly to you and effortlessly being a part of you. See yourself able to readily utilize them whenever the need should arise. And at the same time, See these adult qualities merging with the childlike qualities that you have taken in as well. Once you feel you have fully absorbed, take some more deep breaths as we see time speed up once more to show you an elder version of yourself or an image of an elder that is dear to you. See this elder or wise one or crone before you. And take note of their appearance, their face and hair, their body and bearing. Take note of what they are doing or saying. Find yourself clearly picturing what an elder looks like to you. Once you have this image clearly built in your mind, begin to formulate some positive traits you associate with being an elder. These may be traits like wisdom, self-knowledge, intuition, a sense of humor. Take a moment to really think of any positive traits that you strongly associate with old age. And once you have a good listing of these traits, see these gifts coming to you now. All these positive traits coming into you, into your field, being absorbed by your spirit self. As the positive elder traits continue to enter your field, see them merge and mesh with the positive traits of adulthood and of childhood that you have already absorbed. See them all commingle, coming together in perfect harmony within your own self, so that you are aware that right now, whatever your age is, you can call upon the traits of childhood, the qualities of adulthood, and the positive aspects of elderhood. Now, with all of these positive traits integrated, we'll take a moment to send healing. First, we send healing to our own child self, as well as all the children of the world and the child selves of all the human beings here on earth. We feel a great outpouring of love and light coming directly from Spirit to all these many child selves. And we direct the light towards both the children and the child selves of the adults in the world. We take a few more moments to really beam this heavenly energy towards the children and the child selves on earth. Knowing how needed and necessary this is for the balance and well-being of our planet and the people on it. And now, once more, drawing on the love and light of the spirit realms of the heavenly realms, we send an outpouring of love and positive energy to the adults on this planet and to each soul's adult self, beaming them love and light and healing and peace. Once this healing is sent, we once more draw from the heavenly realms of light, bringing forth healing light and love to send to all the elders on this earth and the elder selves of all the souls present. We feel them being bathed and surrounded with this beautiful heavenly light. as it encompasses all the elders on the planet. With the last of the healing sent, we give thanks to our child self, our adult self, our elder self, and all the energies of heaven that are always present to support and guide us. Giving thanks, we slowly begin the return to our own bodies, our own homes, yet we remain calm and relaxed, ready for whatever exercise is to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly, for that beautiful meditation. Now, I hope you have been able to go to our website and have found the pull down menu, which under Get Involved, and there you might find a place to make a contribution if you would be so kind. You can also find the calendar there for our future programs, and you might want to hopefully consider becoming a member. Our affirmations are found there as well, and so you might also submit the prayer for someone else on our prayer list. This is the site that you will find, and we are grateful for your attention to it. Thank you.
For 44 years, CCWH has been an amazing place for spiritual learning, growth, and value. We will continue to provide value that will enrich your spiritual journey. Donations big and small makes what we do possible. Please help us help you and others by making a donation today. Click here to visit ccwh.com. Thank you.